Phillip Lanos, and today I am joined by Irina Logman of Advanced Holistic Center of New York. And there's also one in Miami, Florida. Now, Logman is a New York and Florida state licensed doctor of acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine, otherwise known as TCM, national board certified in acupuncture. She advocates for the combination of both Western and Eastern medicines for patients to use them in tandem. That being said, what you have here is someone who's looking to benefit your health and to let you know that they're out here. Now, Irina, thank you for stopping by for the show. How is your day going today?
Uh, Hi, and thank you for having me. The day is amazing. It's nice and snowy in New York City, our first snowstorm. So I'm cozy and
Ah,
at home talking to you. Cannot have a better day.
you guys got
And we
locked
are,
out by a snowstorm.
yeah, but we are open, believe it or not. We just posted on
Really?
Instagram. Yep, rain, shine, or snow. We are here for people, for New Yorkers. Yep.
See, that's great. So you're actually active on Instagram. A lot of places that are like medical related, they're not always active on Instagram. It's good to know that there's that personal touch to your business.
I think, given that we practice ancient medicine, we also try to stay up to date with all the modern technology, and times are moving so fast. If I am not to be on Instagram, then I'm like a dinosaur. It's the end. So we are really trying to. And listen, I'm in my mid 40s, and I have some staff who are younger, and they are helping me tremendously. Like, this is what you need to do, and that is what you need to do. This is where the people are. So we are trying to get the message out through all different venues.
Well, that's just a good sign of leadership for you to listen to your team and see where things are going. Now, my question to you is, did you always want to be in this field? Is that how your life story starts? I don't you have to tell me all the details, but some of the highlights to help understand why it is you run your business the way you do, being so open to your team.
It's really interesting because I come from a Western medical family, and my undergraduate degree is on medical lab sciences. So I do like the Western and scientific approach to medicine is just so limited that when you start looking a little deeper, the chronic diseases, there is so much unanswered, and human body is complex and the most advanced machine, if you will, out there. So we have internal innate potential to heal ourselves. And it seemed to me like Chinese medicine, TCM, as you said, acupuncture especially, has a way of tweaking the body and promoting and stimulating and opening up the healing potential that we already have. You don't really need anything external, it's all internal. So if you can align and allow the energy to flow freely, you can probably live till you're 100 and be healthy and mobile and agile and with balanced emotions. So I went from strictly scientific background into learning and exposing myself to alternative medicine. And honestly, the more I do it, the more I see the effects of it. And I got to a point that I was so busy as a single practitioner that I had to invite people to help me. And from one person show, it became like a 15 people show. And we do, so I have 5 acupuncturists working with me. And we also added the Western physical therapist because there is a lot of uh, very important information to restructure and stabilize the body movement through the Western approach, which is physical therapy tailored to each patient condition. So it was a gradual development for me over 15 years that I've been working. I got so much more into what I do. I believe more in what I do. And thus, it went from Western science and medications and my mom being a physician, my sister being a physician, into this whole blown alternative medicine. Let's try energy healing, let's try herbs, let's do acupuncture in conjunction with Western practices.
How fascinating it is that you come from a family of physicians who are strictly Western medicine, and you get your undergraduate and you're focused on that. And I mean, let alone not only achieving a practitioner level of success and having your own practice, but then being able to grow it into a business with a team of 15. That could not have been easy to, first of all, get the education, get to that place, have that, and then have to learn also how to, because it's not the same. Just because you're a practitioner doesn't mean you know how to run a business. I imagine learning how to run the business side of things once you brought on the team was a journey in itself.
Absolutely true. And I would say last 3 years, this is my main um, challenge, is being a good leader, making sure I have a good company culture where people come in and they appreciate and learn how to be a part of the team. Because I also think, universally speaking, it's the time when we all unite and help each other. If you are by yourself out there, it's very difficult to sustain. So you do need team who can work with you, and we have our own strengths and weaknesses, so we complement. And I also employed someone that helps me with leadership, and it's like spirituality at the workplace, where we have these meetings once a month, and we have a person who comes in and talks to me and administrative staff to streamline our like business side of it, because we do know how to treat, but how to manage everything in the background. Because I will say that I'm probably one of the most successful people in my field in acupuncture, which to me sounds insane because I'm not a business person. I'm not really an entrepreneur, but I've been doing it for so long, and I do love to study. I'm learning and I'm trying new things, and that definitely pays off. So yes, running a business is a very different thing than being a practitioner.
You know, it's funny you said that one of the things you struggle with the most is leadership, but yet the main quality that you seem to be exhibiting is a good listener, and that's really what it requires to be a good leader. There was a book, "Change Your Questions, Change Your Life," that I read by Mary Lee Adams, that talks about that you have to go from being the person who has the answers to the person who asks the team, "What do you need from me?" to
Yeah.
get it done. And so then it becomes the question. And the best example they give is the we used to ask, "Where's the water? Let's go to it." Until one day a genius went, "Well, how do we get the water to come to us?" And that changed everything, right? And so it seems that you're on the track. I'm happy to hear your success. 15, a team of 15, and you've been doing this for years. And even now in the COVID, do you find that more than ever people are benefiting from, let's say, all mental illnesses, right? No one's being active anymore. The list goes on. What do you find are some of the most common conditions that people are coming to you now, having been indoors all day? And
Yeah.
and how
Yeah.
has that benefited your business in the COVID?
So the COVID definitely was a challenge because, as most small businesses, which are non-essential, we were told to shut down.
Oh, that had to be hard.
I like Chinese medicine is in a gray zone. It's neither essential nor non-essential. We like doctor's office, but not exactly. So I actually emailed and requested to be called an essential office, and I got a permission. So I stayed open. Like I went to work every day, and I had people, our patients, reach out to me asking, "Are you guys seeing patients?" Because they were staying home and they were losing their minds, literally losing their minds, because small apartments in New York City,
Oh yeah.
with the full family with kids at home, it was very challenging. So my practice changed from treating like bankers and lawyers of Wall Street into treating families. Kids too, pretty amazing. Like husband, wife, and kids would come in. So I had a few families that came to me all through COVID, and I was there by myself. Everything: cleaning, supplies, treating, scheduling. It was a very interesting experience for me. It's like, wow, like looking 15 years back, I'm doing the same thing. Humbling experience, and I got to appreciate what my team does for me. Right? Because sometimes you forget. You think,
Yeah.
yeah, front desk up, and so not true. So me being in each shoe of each of my employees that I've had, maybe I didn't appreciate them as much. It was a really good wake up call to say, wow, I love my people. I wish you guys would come back soon.
Oh, that right there makes this whole episode worth it. I mean, just think about that. Think of the number of business owners listening to this going, "Yeah, my team, what's they're lucky that." No, no, no. You're right. That's, see,
I'm
yet
very
again,
happy.
you're not struggling to be a leader. Let me tell you, I think you're on the right path. That's amazing. So for me, what I'm hearing is you've managed to have the courage to combine both Western and Eastern medicine. Now, I studied martial arts for a while, and I remember my instructor tapped into like the energy fields in my body because I had a pain in my arm. That's what acupuncture is. Am I correct in understanding that? Because I've never had acupuncture done.
Pretty much, you can think of acupressure, which people are familiar with. There are areas on the body and specific points that affect function of an organ. So you can, let's say, affect the liver organ by touching a point between your toes. So it's easy to help liver by working through the meridian. And needle in itself, it's somewhat, if you think about it, an invasive object, right? So we go with a metal object that is sharp into the skin, puncturing, producing some stimulation. The signal goes to the brain and it comes back affecting the organ and thus its function. So it's non-invasive, but it is invasive enough to give you a tangible change, meaning Reiki and polarity and craniosacral, all of these are wonderful modalities, but they're not as, I would say, as strong. And I try everything before I give it to my patients. I experience it on myself. And what I can make with acupuncture, I haven't had anything else. Nothing else is on the market that I've tried. And I tried many things, including shamans. I like that stuff. Pharmaceuticals to shamans, I try everything on myself. And I think acupuncture is the most potent one out there. And it's documented since like 3,000 years ago,
You
right?
know, if I know anything, is that the most brilliant scientists have always been the ones who are open to the other things, the
Yeah,
other side of things, because that's where the questions lie still, and that's where the discoveries are yet to be made, right?
yeah,
So we know what works, and now we're learning what else works. And
yeah.
so for me, it's like if I as a person who's never had acupuncture and the listener who's never had acupuncture, but the probably doesn't even know they could benefit from it. What are some common things that acupuncture itself can actually help with?
Probably the most known thing that we treat is pain. Pain management is huge, and
Pain
actually,
management.
insurances cover pain management because there's enough of clinical and scientific research
Really?
that says, oh, yeah, lower back pain, we should cover lower back pain because it's cheaper for the insurances to pay for our services than actually end up having to have people go through surgery. So, there are a lot of pain diagnoses that are being covered by insurances. So, most people know about acupuncture for pain, lower back pain, neck pain, migraines is huge. I myself, unfortunately, get migraines. And the only thing that actually does help me is acupuncture.
Acupuncture for migraines. Now I see why the Wall Street people were there for you.
Oh, yes. Because if you think people with the migraine, they usually are very driven, right? It's not the laid back type of people. And to be able to give you that relaxing effect on like reprogramming and when you exhale, I've done many different things and I think acupuncture is the best, but it's also consistent acupuncture. It's a
Mm.
consistency and it's pleasant. The experience is nice. It's documented that it releases endorphins, which are happy hormones, natural opioids. So you feel good. When you leave the acupuncture session, you innately feel good. And it's like we have people coming every other day now. This is another upside of COVID. People don't have time, who did not have time because they had to commute to and from home, now have a lot more time to come to us to take care of themselves because they don't have to go to work. So we have more frequent visits now, which is great for patients and for us. It benefited the patients; they can care for themselves, and it benefited us as a practice. Um,
So lower back pain and migraines. Is there anything that people are actually always surprised to find out that acupuncture can actually help with?
So amazingly, people will come to me and say, wow, my digestion is better and I've been sleeping so much better. So these are the side effects of acupuncture. So all of the side effects of acupuncture are actually good ones. Like sometimes they will not tell me that they have these other additional issues. Irregular periods, they become more regular. Some anxiety, I feel more calm. I wasn't as stressed out. So this is all comes by default. Even if I am to work on the pain, we always do system regulatory points because this is the holistic medicine. We don't just treat the upper trapezius because it's in a spasm. We're going to treat the whole system that it doesn't fire and gets your upper trapezius in a spasm. So
Mm.
we treat the pain and then other things resolve by itself, and it's really magical. Like if you believe in magic, acupuncture in my opinion is magical
It's the
just because
closest thing, yeah.
it's like, the human body is magical. How much do we know about the human body? We know in a lot, but not all of it. So that with the needle, you can tap into this magical internal potential that somehow does something. And I'm sure in another 100 years, we'll know more from a scientific perspective. We're going to discover more. Like the idea of fascia, right? It wasn't there a couple of years ago. Now everybody talks about fascia, that sheath of tissue that connects everything. So we work with the same idea. When the fascia is tangled, knot it up, you release it with the needle, things evolve and open up through the whole system.
Wow. You know, it's funny hearing someone who comes from a line of very empirical facing, like empirical driven careers to you yourself having one, and then being able to see the beauty in the other side of it, where it's not meant just to treat, but hopefully promote further wellness and cure even. And that in itself, well, the potential is there, right? We never promise anything, but the potential is always there. That in itself is so different from Western medicine, which focuses only on treating things and rarely prevention, and definitely rarely, if ever, curing something, because there's no money to be made in curing.
Yeah.
But maintenance, totally, especially wellness maintenance,
Yeah.
that's, I think there's a level of integrity behind that type of business. It's social impact. If everybody feels better, is doing better, sleeps better,
Yeah.
eating
Yeah.
better, that's a better
Yeah.
society.
Amen. We had a good relationship with companies when the New York was functioning, meaning corporate wellness. Like
Yeah.
would come in and do like wellness days in the house in the companies was amazing because when people are happy, they produce better, right? They work better, they perform better, and like I don't really know what's gonna happen to New York City because we're nowhere near the end of it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No, this is real though. But you know what? A conversation like this being shared on something like LinkedIn with the right people, with the right influential pillars on LinkedIn, to get in front of the right business people,
yeah,
and to have that conversation going. And for companies who still want to be able to promote a type of culture where their employees feel supported and still have
cared for.
opportunities for wellness, I'm here. I'm here to help make that happen. Even it was just this conversation alone, I think, has opened it up. What are some things that you've heard from businesses where you were doing the corporate wellness that they saw jump up, like let's say productivity, or where their sales improved? Was there anything like that that you might be able to share, that you can share about how happy it was those companies were to actually have you on board and to have that sense of benefit that they offered their employees?
I think the younger type of companies with younger workers, millennials, if you will, they are all so into the wellness and healthy culture and organic food eating and movement. The ones who have standing desks and like treadmills next to their desk was fascinating. So they were really open to having us around because it makes young. Hmm, um,
No, see, I like this. I like how genuine you are. You take the time to think about what you're about to say, because it means you really care about the fact you've noticed that there is a whole generation out there that actually, for the first time in how many generations, cares about the well-being of the body, what they
yes,
eat. There's veganism, there's
yes,
vegetarianism, rising higher than ever before, right?
yes.
Supplements industry, the well, all of that, exercise and fitness. And yeah, acupuncture should fit right into that.
So, like, the basis of Chinese medicine is that we can identify disharmonies before the physical ailment actually appears. So, even if somebody says, I'm feeling great, nothing is wrong with me, by doing the four pillars of Chinese medicine, which is pulse, tongue, questions, and looking at the patient, you can see potentially what can be evolved. Like, if I am to look at your tongue, I can say, okay, this is what I see. Maybe we should address that. This is the idea of wellness and strengthening the weakness. So even if somebody who is active and eats well, but constitutional, let's say, deficient, comes in through our doors, or when we come into the company's we used to do this in conference rooms. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of people together. People would get so fascinated by the findings because I can see when there is something wrong. When you don't tell me you have asthma, I look at your tongue, I can see that you have asthma. If I feel the pulse, I know that you can't sleep and you have cold feet or some other stuff. So this was like a huge impact on like people who were not aware what acupuncture and Chinese medicine can do and offer. Um, I think anxiety and
Really, for anxiety?
ability to manage stress. This is the young generation issue. Um, every young person who works and who is like eager to achieve and perform good at the job, they would say, I'm so anxious, I have a presentation, I'm so anxious, I don't know, I have a new job to do. So this was probably one of the best things we could have we addressed. It's the deflating the anxiety for the younger workers.
See, that's huge, because I myself am a millennial and I do struggle with degrees of anxiety. I'm not as bad as a lot of other people that I love, But yeah, it's definitely a generational thing.
It is a generational thing.
And I had no idea that acupuncture was one option for that. Everybody, what everybody actually does is they take energy drinks, caffeine supplements, because they think they have an energy problem, but it really is just the anxiety draining them away. So
Yes, and when you do these fast, quick fixes, I don't mind it. It's fine. When you need an Advil, take an Advil. When you need the quick fix, it's fine. But in the long run, it's going to drain you tremendously. It really does not last. So you can do these things, but you do need to maintain. And in Chinese medicine, whenever you prescribe a formula, you have these herbs that are attacking the problem, and you always have herbs of balance. Same way we treat with acupuncture. We, like I said, we treat upper trapezius, let's say, but we always address the whole system. You can't just go into the problem. You're missing the whole point. It doesn't last. This is why we end up treating people who go through physical therapy and they go through MDs and they see chiropractors and they end up on our tables because nobody really addresses this whole system thing. It's like you being aligned with the universe, living with the season, right? When it's cold outside, you need to eat stew. You don't eat salad. This is the Chinese medicine idea. So if you have anxiety, we will look at where is this coming from. It can have 5 different reasons in different people where it's coming from. It can be liver, it can be kidney, it can be heart, so on and so forth. So yeah.
oh, this is huge. See, that's. I feel like I just read an article for something I was worried about, and I was like, "Why is this happening to me?" And now I know that acupuncture is actually an option because I didn't. I genuinely, as somebody who, I'm open to things, but I also never went out of my way to go look into it. And so having this opportunity to talk to you about it starts telling me that maybe it's something I should consider and should put down the prescribed amphetamines that everybody's taking for focus and this and that. And is that something that acupuncture also helps? Is it the relaxing of the system that allows one to now finally be able to focus and not feel so
Absolutely,
distracted?
absolutely, absolutely. And actually, I have a kid who's been coming to me for like 2 or 3 years, and this child tells me, "I feel so great after acupuncture. I can do my schoolwork much better." To me, it's like, wow, amazing. The kid is telling me that stuff. So Adderall, I can't believe how many people are taking it. I'm like, why? You can think of all these things also as gifts, you know? If your mind is racing, if it's fast, you can multitask. It's not so bad. I mean, think of it as a gift, and you should be able to live with that gift. You don't want to dumb down. Like, and I also kind of like astrology because it allows me to understand people's makeup. So someone who is more airy, whose mind is fast, it's just how they are. You don't need to stop
As
being.
an Aquarius, I know exactly what you're talking
Me
about.
too. I'm an
Yeah,
Aquarius.
yeah, yeah,
Why is there a limit, right? There is
yeah.
no limit for us. It's
No.
many different things. So I think if you position yourself into a right role, you'll be okay. My administrators, they're all Tauruses, believe it or not.
Which is great because they're the ones that build systems.
I got stable, they manifest, and I honestly, I asked universe, I said, can you please give me somebody who's going to be able to give me structure and ground me because I have these big plans and I want to do all these wonderful things.
Same issue.
Exactly. Exactly. So the universe gave me 3 Tauruses who run my show.
Oh,
Implement
this is
everything I
this is
say.
huge.
Yep.
This is huge. Listen, for me, my question is, I know you mentioned that you could look at someone's tongue and know something. So, is there something that, like, first of all, where can people reach you on Instagram specifically? Do you prefer that? And do you have any kind of initial offering that someone can take you up on to sort of explore the world that maybe they've never even? Most millennials probably have like acupuncture. Isn't that what my grandma or grandpa? Or you're like,
You'd be surprised. I don't know. New York City is very progressive. Most of my clients now are millennials. They are out.
really?
Yeah, they want to try new things
Hey,
and
you're taking me to school.
yeah, sorry to tell you. Where were you all this time? But
I lived in New York for a while, but you know what? I got to be honest with you. I definitely, I was so busy, I never even looked. But now that people have more time, like you said, is there any channel you specifically prefer them to reach you from? And is there any initial offering they can take from you?
I honestly think emailing, you can even email me directly your questions. It's probably one of the easiest ways. We also, all of our technology, all our phone numbers are text enabled. So you can just shoot a quick text message and we reply right away. Instagram is good too, but obviously I'm not the one running the Instagram. So that message will take a little bit longer getting to me.
Okay.
So texting our number, actually the 212 number, which is three. I mean, I can give you my number, obviously, would be the best. And consultations are free. You can call me, call us. We'll schedule a Zoom like this because now we live in this technologically
Yeah.
advanced age, right? So we can do this questions answer and make an appointment, come in. We try to work as much as we can with insurances because some do cover acupuncture and some don't. So we do have a legal obligation to keep everything appropriate. So pricing goes along with what is it that we think you need. It could be just the acupuncture, maybe it was herbal consultation, some cupping, some gua sha, some body work. So there are a lot of different options. And I would say if you're coming from that show, you can say, Irina said I can have a free consultation. Okay. So
Gotcha.
this is your offer, a free consultation on the house.
Hey,
And
there it is.
yeah, there you got me. There you
So
go.
what's the email they can reach you at just in case they're like, yeah, I don't want to read for the number. I just want the email. What's the email they can reach you at?
Yep. Directly to me, it's info@irinalogman.com.
Done.
So any questions, can you address my anxiety? Are you guys able to work with my sleep problem? What about my performance? You name it. I'm happy to respond to you. Yeah.
That's huge. And I usually wrap something up by asking just the strangest question is it's if there was somebody you could meet that you haven't met yet, who would it be? Whether by name or some kind of trade, whether it's taking your business to the next level, your life to the next level, or just you're a fan. Who would that be? Because you never know who's listening.
Oh my goodness, this is an interesting question. I'm really into spirituality lately. Like I want to get enlightened. I want to be so good at what I do so that I channel proper energy. I haven't even thought about actual people because people are people. I don't even know what to tell you. Who do I want to
Would you want
meet?
to meet a guru, anyone in like the Dalai Lama, for
Ah,
example?
who?
The Dalai Lama,
The Dalai Lama. I mean, I honestly study Kabbalah. This is
Oh
my,
yeah, I love Kabbalah. Yeah, it's a great practice.
yeah, I unfortunately missed Karen. Karen, I saw Karen Berg. She just passed away last
Karen
year.
Berg, yeah.
Karen Berg, Rav Berg, I never met, but this is like the lineage of people that I'm so fascinated in.
Oh
Then
yeah.
I don't have a person. Can you imagine? I don't have a single person. I just believe in the universe and I believe in higher energies. You gave me a nice question and now I need to think, who do I want to meet?
Hey, well, you know what? I think that there's plenty of people who were listening. I know whichever listener this reaches is probably thinking, you know what? I've
You
had
know,
this back pain. Oh, you thought someone.
yeah, I'd love to meet people who are in charge of our United States healthcare system. If I could get through to their brains, because they are so close, they are making all these policies and restrictions preventing us from helping people. So if I could like knock to the top and say, hello, there is something to it, we can help people, let us in. Even with COVID, I was like, I want to be the frontliner. Let me help people. Why are you stopping me from it? Because I'll volunteer. There is so much we can do. So I don't really have a person. I have like this whole
Yeah,
big
team.
idea. Yeah.
That's huge though. See that says so much to me about the way you run your business, the way you run your life, and who you are as a person, who you decided you would want to meet. And to say that you would take that opportunity if someone from the healthcare department of America is listening to tell them, hey, you know, give holistic options a chance to get in the front lines and do something. And
Let's keep
especially,
healthy, right?
yeah,
Let's keep people healthy. Let's like not let them get sick. This is our duty. Let's keep people healthy. Stop selling them poisons. Keep them healthy. We have our innate abilities, human body, like clean air, clean water, good food. Reduce them stress. We can help.
and this is coming from somebody who again comes from a hard line family, a very empirical, data driven, medicine driven Western science, saying, look, I've done that. And then I tried this and I realized they should be combined.
Combined. I'm not against it. If you look into my pantry, you'll see some pain pills in there too. Nothing wrong with it. You can
Yeah.
take it occasionally as needed, but you need to address your lifestyle. And I think Chinese medicine is so big on the lifestyle. And like I said, living with the universe, living with the season, mild exercises, not the traditional American when you like crawl out, apologies, from the gym. Nothing like this. It's just all about cultivation of energy, balancing your emotions. This is the lifestyle change, and
You're
I
right.
think we are actually going that way.
You're right. If we can get food stamps and stimulus checks and this and that, we should also be able to have some kind of budget set aside for people to have acupuncture as part of what's subsidized by the government.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
100% see your vision. I don't disagree with that at all, especially with people saying that it improves their studies. Think of the minds, the brilliant minds that might help where medicine has failed them. So, Irina, this has been an awesome conversation, and I think there was so much more we could have covered. But for me, there's an offering, an exciting one, a free consultation. If you heard it on this show and you got the email down, you shared your email, and it was at info@irinalogman.com, correct? If I remember
Correct.
correctly.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
This still works up here, my brain. So that being
Aquarius.
said,
Aquarius.
yeah, it's an
I
Aquarius.
can
Yeah,
give you the phone number too if you want to use text messaging.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
It's 212-379-6414.
Okay, that's this is it. This has been an incredible conversation, a learning experience for me because, as you know, I was like, "What? I didn't know people did that in New York." So for me, this has been an awesome conversation, and I can't thank you
You
enough
are
for taking.
invited personally. Now
Yes.
we have to
Next time
you.
I go to New York, I was living out there, but next time I go visit, I have a mentor of mine, Joe Apfelbaum, who actually runs a marketing agency out there, a very successful one. It's a boutique agency. They get results. It's somebody I want to introduce you to. Believe me, if he can't help you, he'll tell you he can't help you, but he'll introduce you to someone who can. So,
Amazing.
but I'm all about connecting people. I know a lot. Most of my clients, personally, outside of this, are in New
Mm-hmm.
York. So it's going to be that's part of the Action Ambition podcast brand. It's all about business. That's why I asked that question at the end. It's not just to learn about who you are,
Yeah,
but maybe I can make an introduction. And
I
so
have to
with that
think about
said,
it.
yeah,
Yeah. And I am planning on expanding into Miami. I just started that project, so this is definitely something I'm looking into. Miami,
awesome.
Miami, Miami. A lot of New Yorkers moved to Miami. Miami is nice.
Hey,
Miami.
that's smart. You're right. A lot of New Yorkers did move out there. So if you're in Miami and you're listening to this, just know that one of the best advanced holistic centers to ever have existed.
They're coming to you.
There it is. We're going
We're
to
bringing New
Miami.
York to Miami.
All right, Adina. Thanks for stopping by.
Okay. Thank you.